Today we're looking at section 2.6, which is the distributive property. Goals we have are to use the distributive property correctly and to simplify expressions by combining like terms. Begins on page 100 in textbook. First thing we have is a definition of the distributive property. And really, more than anything, we just show that you distribute. That's why it has the word distribute in it. You distribute something into a grouping symbol or into a set of parentheses. So if you have A times B plus C, it's saying A is multiplying times it because it's right next to the parentheses, but it's not just multiplying times B or times C. It's multiplying times B to get AB and times C to get AC. So it's plus AC. The same thing holds true when it's just subtraction in the middle. It's still A times B to get AB, but then it's A times negative C because the negative, the sign in front of the term is the one it goes with, so it becomes minus AC. The second set is the part everybody kind of forgets about when it comes to the distributive property. Most people are good on the distributive property, but if it falls after the parentheses, like B plus C times A, you still distribute it to both terms. You still multiply A times B and A times C, and it winds up being the same thing as above. BA plus CA, and the same thing with subtraction, BA minus CA. A coefficient is the number that multiplies by a variable. So if you have 5x, that means x's coefficient, this number that's right next to it, its coefficient is 5. So in a term, that's a product, so things that are multiplying, it's the number that's up front. Like terms have the exact same variable raised to the same power. Use exact, use that word exact because it has to be exactly the same. So x cannot add to x squared because they're not like terms. But if you had x squared plus x squared, it would be 2x squared because both of those have a 1 in front. So exact same variable raised to the same power. Constant terms are numbers with no variable factors. So 5x squared plus x minus 2. The only part, there are 3 factors up here. This is one. I'm sorry, there's 3 terms. This is one term, 5x squared. This is term number 2, and negative 2 is term number 3. The only one that does not have a variable in it is the constant term negative 2. Simplified means it has no grouping symbols and all of the like terms have been combined. So 2x minus 3 plus x plus 1. When you combine your like terms here and simplify it, 2x can be added to 1x to get 3x. And negative 3 can be added to positive 1 to get negative 2. Now, there are no longer any like terms together, so that is considered simplified. Example number 1 is using an area model. Find the area whose width is 5 and its length is x plus 3. So the area of this rectangle, x plus 3 times 5, or 5 times x plus 3. You don't know what x's value is, but you do know you need to multiply 5 times whatever's in the parentheses. So 5 times x gives you 5x, and 5 times 3 gives you 15. So 5x plus 15. The distributive property says find the product of A and B times C. So this is just like a few minutes ago, but now we're putting numeric values in there. So A times C, B plus C is A times B plus A times C. So the example off to the right, 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times positive 2 is plus 10. You have to do the same thing when it's backwards. A times B is BA or AB. Remember, that means the same thing. Plus A times C is CA. So BA plus CA. Do the same thing here. 8 times X is 8X. And 8 times 4 is positive 32. The same thing holds true when it's subtraction. A times B minus C becomes AB, minus A times C is AC. So 4 times X is 4X, minus 4 times 7 is 28, or 4 times negative 7 is 28. When you go this way, A times B is BA, A times negative C is minus CA. So 9 times X is 9X, 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. So for example number 2, we have 8 times X plus 9. You have to distribute 8 to both terms inside of the parentheses. 8 times X and 8 times 9. Which 8 times X gives you 8X, and 8 times 9 is positive or plus 72. Letter B says negative 5 times X minus 6. You have to distribute negative 5 times X is negative 5X, and negative 5 times negative 6. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive 30. So negative 5X plus 30. C says negative X times Y minus 2X. Negative X times Y will be negative XY, and negative X times negative 2X. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive or plus 2X, and we have X times X again, which means X to the 1 plus 1. You have to add up the exponents. That's why you have 2X squared. So negative XY plus, because it was negative times negative again, 2x squared. And if you look off to the left, it says in example 2b and c, remember that a factor with a negative sign must multiply each term of an expression. Forgetting to distribute the negative sign in each term is a very common error. You have to bring that negative to make it negative times negative. When you're grocery shopping, it says cereal is on sale for $2.51 a box. Use the distributive property and mental math to calculate the cost of 3 boxes of cereal. So $2.51 is the same thing as $2.50 plus 1 cent. That's what it wants you to use mental math to figure that out. 250 times 3, and 3, or if you distribute, 3 times 250 and 3 times 1 cent. So 3 times 250 is $7.50, and 3 times 1 cent is 3 cents. So you get 750, and then you add another 3 cents to it mentally to say that 3 boxes of cereal cost not $7.50, but $7.53. Example number 4 is simplifying by combining like terms. We have 10x plus 13x, the exact same variable raised to the exact same exponent. 10 plus 13 is 23x. For B, it says 2xy minus 5 plus 8xy. The exact same variables raised to the exact same exponents. It's both of them have x and y. None of them are raised to anything but the first power that's not shown. So it says to rewrite minus 5 as plus a negative 5. But other than that, you're just combining 2xy plus 8xy. 2xy plus 8xy. Notice we use the associative property here, or we commute the things around just to multiply certain ones or add them first. That's just combining the like terms. That gives you 10xy, and put the other like terms together, or your constant terms, negative 5 and positive 3, to get negative 2. C says 9xy plus 8y minus xy. Again, the exact same variable with the exact same coefficient. So we have 9xy plus 8y plus, it just rewriting it as an addition. So 9xy minus, these have the exact same exponents raised, variables raised to the exact same exponents. So 9xy minus 1xy gives you 8xy. And when we combine the terms, 8xy plus 8y. Notice you can't put those two together because it's multiplying by y right there. We can't put 8 and 8 together. One's multiplying by x and y, the other one just by y. And then D says negative x minus 3x plus x squared. Negative x plus negative 1. This is a negative 1 coefficient that doesn't show up. If you need to write it in, it might help you to do that. Then you just distribute negative 1 to both terms. Negative 1 times 3x and negative 1 times x squared. So negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x, and negative 1 times x squared is minus x squared. So at this step here, we have negative x at the beginning plus a negative 3x plus a negative x squared. Then when you combine your like terms, you have two x terms, the exact same exponent and variable raised to the same exponent. Negative x minus 3x or negative x plus a negative 3x gives you negative 4x minus x squared. And you can't put those last two together because one is to the first power, the other one is being raised to the second power. Simplifying these expressions for the last part of the checkpoint, you have negative x times 4 minus x. Negative x times 4 is negative 4x. And negative x times negative x. Negative times a negative we know is positive or plus, and it's x times x. Remember, x times x means you have to add the exponents 1 plus 1. So it becomes x squared, negative 4x squared. Sorry, negative 4x plus is what I meant to say. It's what I wrote, x squared. For the other one, we're simplifying this expression by combining the like terms. Exact same variable, y to the third, raised to the exact same exponent. So we both of them say y to the third. We add the coefficients, 2 plus 4, and we get 6y to the third plus 5y. It stands alone. That's all you can do with that because we don't know y's value. And then the last one, number 3, says, explain how to use the distributive property to mentally find out the cost of 8 erasers at... Okay, it says explain how to use the distributive property to mentally find the cost of 8 erasers when they're 49 cents a piece. Notice that 49 cents is close to 50 cents. So if we do 8 times 50 minus 1, or 8 times 50 cents minus 1 cent, when you know you do 8 times 50 or 8 times 5 is $4, and then 8 times negative 1 is minus 8 cents. So $4 minus 8 cents would be $3.92. So $3.92.